Hello, everyone, and welcome to Mage Salem Nights. This will be episode 9, the hit Cyborg, and which is a little bit of a giveaway for what we're doing tonight. um, the I will be your GM and storyteller, Josh, and the rest of the party will go around and have them introduce themselves and their characters. Um, and we'll start with Melody.
I'm Melody. I play Misty Everwood, and I am Son of Ether.
Okay, and Mike.
Hello, I'm Mike and I play Oliver tonight, and he's a verbena.
Okay. And Rowain.
I am Rowain, and I am playing Eleanor Abernathy, who is totally not a cat girl cult leader online. She's just a streamer who brings together a bunch of like minded people who like cats, and she is Cult of Ecstasy.
All right. So we've got a bit of a story lined up for you tonight. Um, Last time we left off, Mr. Whiskers and Oliver had just managed, and actually everybody together had managed to banish some death cult or death spirits, excuse me, from Misty's house. And yeah, I think that was where we last left off, was him leaving, and you guys in the aftermath of that.
We're giving some very good advice to Mr. Whiskers. One, about finding a better name.
Yeah. So yeah, um, what we've got going on is you guys are dealing with the aftermath of these death spirits, which was actually fairly light. Nobody got injured. The
Mm-hmm.
so
We got lucky, the rituals worked.
yeah, and you did them fast enough before somebody got poked.
Yeah,
All right, so what do you all have on your minds for this evening? Since it's about 4 or 5 in the afternoon, what are your plans?
I tell them that when I was in Boston earlier, I tell them about the guy I knocked out and the emails that were going back and forth between him and the guy that sent Misty that letter.
Yep, so you knocked out Seth Wojak, and the
Yeah,
local counselor that sent Misty that letter was Aaron Smith.
yeah. And so he'd been up to something.
All right, so how do the rest of you react to that?
Um,
Hmm.
well, I mean, politician does sketchy thing. I'm not shocked.
Yeah, that's like normal.
It's might be a little bit weird for him to have messed with you, because you do remember from last time that the letter that was sent to you contained a spell to attract spirits. So that's a little intense, but you know,
Yeah, that's kind of odd for uh please vote for me, please give me money. And
yeah,
if you don't, I'm going to send spirits after you and stuff like that. That's a little over the top even for the slimy ones.
Yeah. That's a little extra, like saying the quiet parts out loud.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what was he doing? Emailing back and forth with a low life that I knocked out.
I will say that the guy that you knocked out was apparently fairly wealthy. He had a very nice suit on. He had a very nice computer. So for low life, he was at least a rich low life.
Well,
A lot of rich people are low life, so
I was
True.
gonna say, yeah.
fact it's a requirement.
Yeah.
Uh,
Except for that one guy who gave away like all of his $16 billion and is down to like 300,000 to live out the rest of his life. That guy was
so
good.
yeah.
well, every once in a while, one of them pops up.
Yeah.
This guy definitely wasn't. No.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Seth was probably not a good aligned character. We'll
Oh,
put it
his
that
name was Seth. Well, there's a red flag.
way.
Well, I can tell you one thing: he has a headache now,
Yeah.
for sure. I
Oh, right.
didn't.
You didn't just flat out kill him. For some reason, I keep thinking that you
No,
just killed him in his apartment.
no, I just uh, magically knocked him out.
Oh, okay.
He's. I assume I didn't accidentally kill him, did I?
No.
Okay.
It
He
would be
woke up
funnier
in
that
time.
way.
So about now, he's waking up with a really bad headache.
Yeah.
So what do you guys want to do?
Well, I mean, it seems like the obvious first target for at least you of taking out um, the political opponents is this guy. He kind of put a target on his back.
Yeah.
Aaron? Yeah.
Uh, suggestion: do we text Neffy and tell him about the coincidence with this Aaron dude,
Probably, because it's probably not a coincidence.
and see if he has any suggestions, since they're both council members and he might know this guy?
I'm pretty sure the council members would frown on the fact that he's sending out pamphlets that put people in danger, too.
That's true. We do. We do want to mention that to the council.
That would go a long way of discrediting him from his political career.
Definitely wouldn't help.
At least we would hope it wouldn't, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd hope not.
If it does, we have another football altogether.
But I mean, with how politics go, you know, they probably will love it secretly.
Yeah.
There's a faction of them that'll be like, why didn't we think of that before? So, why he turned Oliver turns to Eleanor and goes, so why don't you text him and see what he told you? See what he told us to do.
All right, I will go ahead and do that, and I will also text him about the success of the meme and the social media post I made earlier.
Oh yeah. So yeah, 1 second. Got some dice to roll. So Nefaris sends back, "Where are you?"
Where Misty's
Yeah, I'll text him
was.
where we are.
With a loud pop and kind of a wrenching noise, Nefaris appears. He says, "Ow."
Did you hurt yourself teleporting?
No, I'm fine.
Were you in the middle of something painful while when you teleport?
Just stubbed my toe. Yeah, that's all.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
You're lucky
okay.
you didn't get exploded just popping in like that in my house.
That's true. It's like
Yeah, the mailman didn't fare so well.
he
Mailman,
pops
what?
in. Yeah, and Oliver points out the window to what's left of the mailman.
That's going to be a problem, isn't it? I'm going to rely on you, Eleanor, to cover up the fact that we've already exploded a mailman.
Well, that wasn't connected to you in any way.
Oh, good. Never mind then.
Th-
Misty, you can deal with this yourself.
That was
Yeah, Misty is
just
the one who's gonna go to jail.
that was
Nope.
just
I cleaned it up well enough. There's no evidence.
that was just
The, except for the exploded mailman legs all over the front lawn.
Yeah.
I picked it up.
There's
that
various
was
pieces of mailman just kind of still left around right now. You're gonna need a lot
That
of
w-
bleach if you want to get rid of it.
that was an extreme version of home security.
Yeah.
But
I'm just saying,
getting
I don't know. Someone put a bomb outside my house. I don't know what.
Uh-huh.
but moving on from Missy's little
Impending court trial.
pleasant activities apparently. To our bigger problem of Mr. Vote for me or die council member. Uh,
Yeah, brings him the letter that I got.
Yeah.
I think you
Gives
guys
it to
burnt that
Nefarious.
actually.
No, it got burned. We're gonna have to find another one.
Yeah.
she's probably not the only one in the neighborhood he sent them to.
I'm sure it's not.
Well, the mages are fairly rare, so in the neighborhood, yeah, she's probably the only one. In the town, no.
What if we drive Mr. Whiskers around and he can sense where there's some more death spirits?
Mr. Whiskers has already left.
Oh. I could get him back. He's a cult member. I mean, a member of my streaming community.
Before he left, you did suggest that he raise his Patreon level, correct?
Well, of course. He got special emojis from me for coming and doing the work for me.
Yeah. So
I'm sure we could catch him at the airport or wherever, or however he got here.
Yeah, he flew, so.
Mm-hmm.
But as it stands, Nefaris is like, so basically what you're telling me is that Aaron was dumb enough to send out damaging evidence to himself all over this city in an effort to
Yeah.
try and get votes?
Sounds like a
This
The,
setup, huh?
sounds like a setup. Yes.
Which
and,
means you're not the only one trying to take over, I guess, huh, Neffy?
and then there was
He
the
curses.
email. Then there was the email with the guy that I knocked out, which I show him on my phone because I took pictures of all the emails on the guy's laptop.
Yeah, he gently takes your phone from you and starts scanning through all of the things.
Oh no, he doesn't know how to use technology. I hope you didn't have any other weird photos in there.
No,
He's smart enough to keep those photos on film.
there's a burner phone that only I know about that has
Yeah.
And
all
how
that
else can you just store?
all that stuff on it. I don't tell that to the group, by the
Yeah.
way. That's above the group conversation.
Yeah. So yeah, he looks through the photos and says, "Well, this doesn't look to be like it was an intentional setup. This looks to be like an actual attempt from the NWO to get an in with one of our counselors. Considering that Aaron didn't respond positively or negatively to anything here, he's probably still trying to decide on what his behavior is going to be."
Hmm. So you think this guy that I knocked out is an NWO member?
One of the least subtle ones I've ever seen, but nah, they're fairly unsubtle as it stands.
What do we know about them?
Well, the NWO is a technocratic group that uses patsies, usually non-mages, to, or I'm sure, sorry, non-technocrats. Uh, they keep those separate, so I need to remember that. Non-technocrats to uh, infiltrate and control groups of mages and other night folk.
And their goal in doing this is,
Well, generally to collapse the infrastructure and lives of the other night folk so that they can then sweep in with some of their black suits and take us out.
no, I didn't like this one, and from what you're telling me, I'm not going to be real fond of the rest of them either.
That's a fair assumption to make. They are technocrats after all. He spits. No, he doesn't spit. He's in your house. That would be.
Yeah.
He scoffs. This isn't medieval fantasy. Spitting on the ground is gross.
Yeah.
You almost unlocked a rant there, and you know that.
Yeah. He would have had to pay for carpet cleaning bill.
Yeah. speaking of carpet cleaning, there is leftover ectoplasm just sort of variously around the house, so you're gonna have to
Yeah.
clean that up too when you deal with the bloody stain of the mailman outside.
Yes. Special cleaning forces, let's go.
Better pay them well to not talk about why there's a mailman shaped stain on your front lawn.
You know, if you just bury the parts, it's good fertilizer for the flower garden and all that sort of stuff. I'm assuming. Or did your flower garden just get blown to bits when the mailman blew up?
I don't know. I did not pay attention.
You know, if it was violent enough to blow him to bits, it's probably not there anymore.
Yeah,
Oh,
well, so this was on her
darn.
front step, and there's definitely a scorch mark, but her
If we're being
flowers are
realistic, if he was bits, she wouldn't have a front door.
so luckily the force's magic was shaped in such a way to direct his body outward and away from the house.
Yeah.
She at least managed that with the magic.
So there's a cone of flesh and blood
Yes.
across the entirety of her front lawn, is what I'm hearing.
Yes.
Okay.
I'll
Which,
just
by
dig
the
up
way,
the grass and
if we
replant
ever
new
start
grass.
a metal band, I claim the name Cone of Flesh and Blood.
Okay. That's fair.
I could see the t-shirt for
That'd be interesting.
not to mention the elderly couple that live across the street that are always snooping through the window.
Yeah, at least a few droplets hit their house. Like it's that kind of range.
I'm sure it's fine, right?
So now she used to watch periodically. Now they're both standing at the window. What in the world is going on across the street? And now we have to paint the house. God damn it!
Yeah, I assume what actually happened is they heard a loud boom. They went out and they couldn't find any like specific reason for the sound, except they turn around and their entire house is just blood sprayed.
Wasn't quite that much range on it, but close. The street definitely needs a cleaning.
And they work so hard on their front lawn,
Yeah.
trying to keep it all green and such.
Yeah, so that'll be an interesting event to deal with for you later, Misty. But for now, Nefaris says, so, my suggestion is you look into Aaron's um, infrastructure, what he's built up around himself, his retainers and the like, and see if you can find an inn to basically find out where they got his magical signature from. You did scan for his magical signature, right? This wasn't just you're guessing because he put his name on or someone put his name on it.
No habla inglés?
I did.
No,
I-
hello, English. What?
I did the rituals. I didn't have time to do that.
Okay. Well,
Could I? Is it too late now, or could I do a life roll and see if I can pick that up?
you can do a life roll, but the difficulty is going to be 9.
It's better than nothing.
So is it just life or is it
Life
life
plus
and air?
Arete.
Yeah. Because Eric or Oliver just realized that if if it isn't his signature, that means somebody else is trying to take you out.
Right. So someone else could deal with Misty in a negative way.
Yeah. Which, but, so,
So you can spend quintessence if you have any to reduce the difficulty on a 1-to-1 ratio, and you can also spend willpower to just get a success.
I only have 2 quintessence, so I'm not going to spend them on this.
Okay.
But I will spend a willpower. And actually,
So hope for no ones, basically.
yeah, really. Use it and do 10s explode.
I believe we moved on to tends to explode, so yes.
Mm-hmm. I'm doing this too. The difficulty was 9, right?
You have
Yeah.
life?
Yeah, I have life. I have a point of life.
Yes, the difficulty is 9.
Four successes.
I will screenshot this for you, but I also got 4.
I believe you. You don't need
I
a
got 3
screenshot.
9s and a 10.
That's
I
ridiculous.
I got 2 10s and a 9, and then had to re-roll the 10s.
Yeah, I didn't even burn a willpower. I just got straight 4.
So
Like
we
all of my dice were successes.
we each got 4.
Okay, so you're able to get a good scan of the remaining life energy from the burnt letter. And you realize that you don't actually know Aaron Smith's signature. But you do have a good solid idea of the signature here.
So if we can get an example of his,
Yes.
that's fair, I suppose.
Yeah, because the 3 of us have never met him and don't know him.
Yeah.
That's true.
But you will have this in your memory very solidly. With 4
Right.
successes, like, you're well past the need to worry about that.
Yeah.
All right. So, the forest says, well, I didn't think about that part when it comes to you not knowing Aaron's signature, but I will suggest that you meet with him at this upcoming council event, which will be in 3 days on
Okay.
the park grounds, and he gives you directions.
Actually, while I have you here, I have something that I'm actually curious about.
Oh,
So I know time is going slower here than in Doystep, right?
yes.
So how did your terrible monstrosity dog thing play out there?
Well, if you mean my my Cobra Hounds.
What else would I have meant? What other monstrosity dogs do you have laying around?
That's an interesting question that I'm going to field later.
Oh boy, this is going to be a worse PR disaster than the upcoming mailman explosion case.
Although we could call the Inquirer and make a bunch of money out of that.
That is very true. It could be published next to Bat Boy.
I could see the
I miss Bat
front.
Boy.
I could see the front page on that.
What happened to Bat Boy? Did he like go to Mars with Elvis or something? Did
Something
he die?
like that. They haven't published anything about Bat Boy in a while.
No.
This is actually
Him,
Nefaris saying this.
him and Elvis are living in Argentina somewhere, sharing a studio apartment.
Wait, Argentina, are Bat Boy and Elvis Nazis?
No, you
La-
see, they're Nazi hunters.
Oh, you know what? That makes sense.
That's why they're laying low in a studio apartment in Argentina.
This is an in-character conversation, by the way.
Yes.
And for those of you too young to know who Bat Boy was, Google it. You'll find it.
Yeah.
Oh, the things that happened in the 90s and early 2000s.
Fantastic.
It's the only thing that made the Inquirer worth looking at. Or was it? Wasn't the Inquirer?
It was one
Or
of
was
those,
it?
though.
The Sun?
No, it wasn't
Oh.
the Sun.
Weekly World News.
That's it.
Oh, that's what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right up there with the magical lottery numbers that.
Yeah.
That I'm sure won every time. I mean,
Yeah.
I didn't play the lottery, I was a kid, but I believed in them.
That's why it did so well, but that's why the Weekly World News no longer exists.
Yeah.
Weekly World News was lottery numbers sure to win. Bat Boy, the world ends next week.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically about that. Yeah.
And that was it. That it's so silly to look back on now, but I was always terrified of them at like the checkout at the store when I was a little kid because they always said doomsday was tomorrow, basically.
Yeah.
I hated them. I hated walking past them.
Then you go back. Then you go back to the store 3 days later, and the magazine's still at the counter.
Yeah.
And heaven forbid, they actually made a musical of Bat Boy.
Oh, that's great.
Oh,
Have to
wow.
see
You know,
it.
I might actually be interested in seeing a musical now.
Yeah.
Oh God.
All right. So,
Hey, this is quality video, okay?
you're right, it is.
Because there are millions of of the younger generation that have no idea what we're talking about.
See, this is why we need a general discussion podcast so that we can just talk for 2 hours about Bat Boy.
It's true. That'll be on our Patreon soon.
There you go.
we can have a conspiracy theories are dumb. Let's laugh at them podcast.
This conspiracy
And they
theories
get
of the 90s were
specifically
just
conspiracy
great.
theories of the 90s.
Yeah.
Because if you're still hung up on a conspiracy theory from the 90s, you need help. Because they are not they're less logical than even the ones today.
That was 30 years ago, and if you haven't moved on,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, um, Nefaris has a grand old time talking Batboy with you guys, but then he says, "Okay, okay,
Wait, did
so
you know Batboy personally? I'm just curious.
no, but I've attempted to replicate him recently. It's going
You-
oh
well."
boy, wow,
Oh, that has some moral implications that I think we need to discuss at
Well,
some point. Like, what's the line? Is he more bat than boy, or is he more boy than bat? Because there's a lot of like childhood protection laws if he's more boy than bat.
no, he's definitely more bat than boy. I'm working
Okay.
on making sure that he stops trying to eat his siblings, but that's
Okay,
its
now
own
you've just
project.
admitted that Batboy has been born, which is a whole other kettle of fish.
he must be a blast at a Christmas party.
Neffy, I'm gonna have to ask you that if you're gonna want to win this election, that you perhaps refrain from doing any more strange human cloning experiments until after you've taken over. That's not a good look.
Alright, I guess I can manage to wait for a few months.
Although, wouldn't he be a great campaign manager?
Batboy? For sure.
Yeah,
He knows Elvis.
get him out on the road. Yeah,
So if
that's sort
Neffy
of the.
created him, was he just spawned knowing Elvis? Is that
Who
what
do
the
you,
canon is going to be here? He came out the petri dish and was like
who
Oh,
do
I
you,
know Elvis.
good friends with Elvis.
who do you think he was spawned from?
Yeah.
Oh, it was Elvis the surrogate.
Yeah,
No, Elvis's corpse was way too laden down with drugs for anyone to use it for experiments.
that's
I
true.
mean, other than infogenic experiments.
What are you talking about? My best friend's cousin's great grandmother's niece's best friend saw him alive and well at an Arizona gas station buying a Slurpee and a Slim Jim.
Well, like many people, he rose from the dead 3 days later.
Yeah, and he was still wearing the white sequin Vegas suit at the time.
Of course. In one hand, a peanut butter and banana sandwich
And bacon.
and bacon.
No.
In the other, a playbill for his next show.
There's a restaurant in Austin that actually serves those.
Ugh.
Yep.
Yeah. I've eaten there. It's pretty cool.
But yeah,
In fact, their menu is basically all of his favorite foods.
that must be great for your arteries.
Well, considering of what he actually died of, it's no surprise that he died of it. If that's the
No.
food he ate.
Yeah.
Although they claim he weighed 250 pounds, but they also claim it took 4 ambulance people to extricate him from his house.
Yeah.
So he either weighed a lot more than that or they had really weak ambulance people
Yeah.
where he
Or
lived.
both.
Yeah.
So yes, go see Aaron at the upcoming conclave meeting and try to get a good sense of his magical signature and see if it's related to this letter.
Oliver steps in for a second and goes, I've never been to one of these. What are they? You know, they black tie sort of things, or
If you have robes, I would suggest wearing them. Otherwise, many don't. Um, there's a bit of ritual and pomp and circumstance, but as members of the community, you won't be expected to participate. And if there are any duels, root for the side that you think looks best.
okay.
I would move her to the side that looks best. Okay.
Generally, the best way to go about dealing with those kinds of dual circumstances is to not involve yourself in the actual nitty gritty of the duel because you don't want to become embroiled in those political arguments.
No. But can we take bets on the side?
Oh, of course.
Okay.
That's almost required.
The Eleanor would be good at that.
Yeah, actually, after we're done with this whole like thing we're dealing with here, I actually have some business stuff to chat with you about.
All right. Well, I do need to go check on my petri dishes. I was in the middle of that when we did this. Oh
Okay.
gods.
So when you're free, if you could contact me, I think we need to do a bit of merchandising.
Understandable.
Unless you just
Wait.
want to hand me like a blank merchandising budget and let me take care of it for you.
He thinks for a moment. Which would you prefer? So, like, this is not him asking. This is actually which would you prefer?
Oh, well, I mean, I am good at merchandising myself, so I'd assume.
Okay, so you would prefer. Are you
Dealing
going to
with the
try to
merchandise
persuade him
myself.
to do that?
I just want to know a budget from him that he would be comfortable with paying for merchandise.
Ah, okay. So he says, what is a standard budget for this? Will he thinks for a moment. I don't know, $150,000 work?
I mean, yeah, that'll be fine. Anybody want to go out for crab after this? Maybe some lobster? A think tank meeting.
I could do with a good steak dinner.
Oh yeah, I could do with lobster or crab or steak.
Because we do have to decide what we're going to do about this. Campaign notwithstanding, somebody's trying to blow us up.
So I'm gonna, in the middle, once he's given me this number, and I'm just taking this as what's happening at this point. He does not get a do-over on that one. I'm gonna take out my phone and call my assistant real quick, and as soon as she answers, I'm gonna be like, "Go ahead and put in the order for 1,000 units of Cat Girls for Neffy's shirt."
Cat girls for Neffy?
Yeah, I got a plan. Don't worry. I'm gonna wear it on stream, and we're gonna sell them on stream, and it's gonna be written right across the chest, so you can see where this is going. It's gonna be read a lot.
All right. Do you want any particular design on it, or is it just the logo Cat Girls for Neffy?
Oh, we'll talk decide. I think we need to make them a bundle deal with cat ear headbands.
Okay. That sounds interesting. All right, I'll
Well,
get
we
working
can
on
make
that.
it equal. We'll throw in 1,000 cat boys for Neffy too. Just we'll just cover all bases.
Okay.
You know what? Even do a gender neutral cat days for Neffy.
Okay. All right.
Has your assistant met Neffy yet?
No.
So
She's
she,
vaguely aware.
but she has no idea who you're talking about.
She has some idea that that Eleanor is working for Neffy,
Yeah.
but she doesn't know anything about Neffy beyond that.
To be fair, I tell her to do a lot of things with very little context.
Yeah.
I guess when you're paid well enough, context doesn't really matter.
Actually, the payment isn't particularly a big deal for her. She's a cult member too. That's part of why Eleanor has her
I
around.
mean, I still pay her well.
Yeah, but the payment isn't important. She'd work for peanuts because she's a cult member.
And she's living with you, so it's not like she's paying rent or anything.
No, she has her own place. She just is currently living in my apartment because she's standing by the door with pepper spray.
Yeah.
Sure.
She's got an itchy pepper spray finger. It's useful.
At least she's not like Misty standing there with a remote control.
There is always a chance that I'm going to come home and forget to announce myself and I'm going to get pepper sprayed. And that's okay because it'll make for a perfect setup for an apology video where I'm fake crying and those get all the views.
All right. I think we're going to take our
Really?
short break here.
Oh, really?
Um,
Oh, really?
and then when we get back, we will deal with the next sequence, which is going to be a lot of fun for me and maybe a little bit of fun for the players. I don't know. It depends on what they like. So, yeah. See you in a minute. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Salem Nights. So, last we left off, Neffy was just leaving the location of Misty's house. And yeah, did you guys have anything else that you wanted to ask him before he left?
Did I get his business card to do the expenses with?
Yeah, he just wrote you a check
Oh, okay.
for $150,000.
God, gotta love the guy. That was just a verbal contract.
Did we know he was rich, or is he just magically creating funds?
He's rich, but you don't know why he's rich.
As long as he keeps handing me checks like this, I'm not going to question. Because if I don't know, it's not admissible in court.
I don't think courts would be much prepared to deal with where he gets his money.
Yeah. Horrific genetic experiments. I've figured that much out.
Well, considering he's got to have an end point for all of those, it's like I haven't seen them wandering loose around. So what the hell does he do with them?
I'm going to guess
Yeah, that'd
dog
be-
food companies.
It's not selling them to South American dictatorships, I'll tell you that much.
I think it is that since you brought it up.
Elvis have a zoo in Argentina, does he?
Yeah, I'm sure there's nothing that cartels have to do with this in any way.
Right. He'd be the one person they'd be scared of.
Yeah, no kidding.
Like I said, the less I know, the less likely I'm going to be a star witness at a court case.
Or have your brain fried.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where they're painful. You don't want to do that.
So yeah, he gets ready, and let's see. I need to roll some dice. Okay, much better this time. This time there's a tiny little pop and he's gone.
No trail of cursing behind him.
Right.
It must have worked this time.
So yeah, now you have a place to be in 3 days. Eleanor has her, what's it called? Appraisal tomorrow for the paintings.
But for tonight, I'm currently Googling most expensive restaurant in Salem, Massachusetts.
Yeah. How far of a trip would Salem, Massachusetts to Hartford, Connecticut be?
Let's see. It is a 1 hour and 56-minute trip by car.
That might be worth whatever you're thinking.
Well, I know of a really good restaurant named the Hartford Inn that serves killer Peking duck if you're in for it.
I could go for some duck. I could bring home a little treat bag for my cats of the leftovers.
That's true. You could bring home. They make duck tacos as part of the whole. You could bring home duck tacos for the cats.
They could have their own Peking duck. I mean, with this kind of money.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you could order 2 of everything and just bring one home with you. If you're up for a 2-hour trip.
Well, 2-hour trip there and 2-hour trip back.
Yeah.
I'm sure that I could get a one of my the stream watchers to drive us.
That wouldn't even be a problem.
You could get your assistant to drive us.
That's true.
I
mean, what is she good for if she's not driving?
If you promised her dinner, she'd probably be all excited about it.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and text her and ask her to bring the SUV around.
Okay. So you're gonna leave your cat ears car outside of Misty's
It still
place?
needs the mirror repaired.
Yeah, but you brought it here.
I brought it here?
Yeah. You're the one who drove.
Oh, did I?
Yeah, nobody else has a car.
Okay, we're going to pile in the cat ear car. We're going to drive back to the apartment. And I'm going to have our assistant drive us because I hate driving long distances.
Okay.
And oh, by the way, above game, I have eaten in this restaurant. I have eaten their Peking duck, and it's really good.
Oh, good. Wait, you guys are leaving the city.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we just messed up
No,
Josh's plan here.
it's
Yeah,
fine.
that's our job. That's the job to mess up the DM.
It's fine.
In fact,
Timings
Yeah, it's
will just
great.
change. That's
in
okay.
fact
No.
we're not only leaving town, we're leaving the state.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for like 5, 6 hours, depending on how long you guys spend at dinner.
I mean,
Yeah.
we might stop for ice cream along the shore or something.
Yeah.
Well,
You know, we could get a hotel, with the amount of money we just got, and get like
Like we can get a
massages.
hotel, like go swimming
Well,
in the hotel pool
well,
and sit in the
this is
jacuzzi and
this is a restaurant and an inn. It's called the Hartford Inn.
Oh well, why don't we just stay the night and like make a bed and breakfast situation out of it?
Yeah, you could do that if you wanted to.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll just get one of my other cult members to come around and feed the cats in the morning.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. That's fair. That's okay.
You asked us what we wanted to do,
I
and
mean,
we want Peking duck in a different state.
that's true. I gave you the money to do it too.
And for my part, this is getting you all back for every time you've ever avoided the 19 times you've avoided combat in my
hmm
and messed up my plan. So there you go.
All right. So you
This
head
is
out.
where he's gonna get us back, and we're gonna be like in a fiery car accident.
Yeah, the NWO is gonna appear, and we're all gonna.
In fact,
We're
they're
all
the ones
gonna die.
who own and run the
Drowning.
restaurant as a front.
Above game, the staff there, at least in the restaurant, is a really nice Oriental family, and they do their duck homemade. And I didn't even have to pay the bill,
oh, that's nice.
which was
That's
a
the
plus.
best part.
Just like you won't hear.
Free food is always better than anything you can pay
What?
for.
Yep.
What? No, you do not need up right now. You do
All
not
Tell
right.
need
me
up
I
right
have
now.
to pay $50 for a nice
No.
steak, or that I can have a free peanut
No.
butter and jelly. Man, that peanut butter and jelly is gonna
No.
taste real fancy.
No. 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 You do not need up.
All right. So you head out to Hartford, Connecticut. in your assistant's SUV. What is the name of your assistant?
Janice.
Okay.
By the way, how's that whole naming the episode before it happens thing working out for you?
Oh, it's fine. I've got backups.
Uh-huh.
What time of day is this? Is this like
Okay, come here.
So you'll get there by about
Come on.
like
Jack, come on.
7-ish.
Come on. Come on.
So it's actually
Come on.
kind of hard to get a seat because the place is kind of full at
Yeah.
about 7.
I got this. I will go out to the ATM out front and take from my business account and just come in with a wad of hundreds and be like, wow, me and my friends would really like a table. I feel like tipping big tonight.
And we left at 5. Traffic on the interstate between Salem and Hartford would have been a bitch.
So Janice is one of those drivers that you are surprised gets you there intact.
Okay.
And she
Yeah,
knows a lot of the back roads around this area.
and by that you mean she's not afraid to drive on the shoulder and yell out the window obscenities and languages that you're pretty sure haven't been around since ancient Samaria.
Yeah, that and she doesn't mind off-roading. Her SUV is great for it. So if she needs to change change roads in the middle of a busy day,
She'll just take a hard left turn and keep going. Hey.
Little bit awkward when she's in the city, but I love her for it. I'm never
So,
late for anything.
does her family have a history of moonshining when she was young?
possibly.
Going off into the woods and such.
Yeah, you know that show Dukes of Hazzard? It was basically a biopic of her family.
Does she
I say this
actually?
with much love as somebody who's part of their family was moonshining across the Canadian border.
Did she actually have a license?
Oh yeah, she's got a license.
Okay.
It's up to date even.
Just making sure.
Look, they have to catch you to give you any tickets.
Yeah.
And that's her philosophy about the whole thing.
All right. So you have your Peking duck. It is just as good as Mike remembers. It's the same family working the place, so they've gotten better, if nothing, or if anything, over time.
Yeah, because that was 30 years ago.
Yeah.
So,
So there's a little bit more practice in the kitchen. Are you guys going to stay there overnight, or are you gonna?
Well, I mean, that was the plan, unless we want to have Janice drive us back in the dark.
Yeah, I don't think we want that.
So what I was saying about the fiery car crash thing,
Yeah.
let's not give him extra ammo for that.
because it's probably about 10 o'clock at night by the time we're done with dinner. So,
Also, we've probably had some sort of, adult beverage.
Or several adult beverages.
Yeah, you guys haven't been driving, so and Janice, well, since you plan to stay at the evening, she partakes herself.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, she's had several, and now you really wouldn't want her behind the wheel.
We
And
do
I
not
wouldn't
endorse
want to.
drunk driving on this channel.
No. Plus, I wouldn't want to be in the car with her.
Yeah.
Mm.
And I don't care how good of mages you are, drunk driving still sucks.
Because we also don't endorse dying in horrible ways in this channel.
Yeah. We want you all to live. Keep watching our videos.
You know, join our Patreon and give us money.
We are so good at this.
Yeah. All right. So in the morning, you wake up, and weirdly enough, Janice can't find her keys.
Oh, that sucks. Better go make sure your SUV is still there.
She's like, "Oh my god, do you think they could have taken it?"
Well, I mean, I don't know what they'd want with an SUV that was, well, The undercarriage is all scratched up and filled with the various underbrush from all those ravines you hopped on the way over here. But
Well, and I don't know too many car thieves that will come into your room and take your car keys.
Yeah. But she goes
That's
and looks, and her SUV's in the lot.
so it's there.
Yes.
Is it a modern SUV?
Yes.
Does it? So it probably had like push to start or whatever, right?
I believe so. Yeah, it would have to.
All right. So I'm gonna tell her just to call her OnStar and have them push to start her SUV and unlock the doors, and then we'll just get home that way.
Well, so she needs to find her keys. You can't just leave her keys.
No, you can just get them cut at a dealership. They'll just hand you new keys. I'll even pay for them.
Oh, well, thank you. I guess that'll work. I do pay for our Black Star service.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just give them a call. They should be able to unlock the doors and do everything else. As long as it has push to start, you're good.
So 5-10 minutes later, you guys are back on the interstate. This time she's staying on the interstate because it's like 10 a.m. and it's not particularly bad traffic. So it's the
no.
fastest route. And about 10-15 minutes into your trip, the you hear a rustling from the back seat.
Well, oh, okay. Well, who's sitting in the back seat? Because we're not all sitting on each other's lap in the front.
So in SUVs, they have 3 seats, 3 sets of seats.
Well, some of them.
This one does.
Okay.
If this is the 7-passenger vehicle, yeah.
Yeah. That's how you were able to get all of your booze moving last time. Well, a few times ago.
Oliver is sitting in the middle row of seats.
Okay.
So you're saying we hear something directly behind Oliver?
Yes.
Oliver and me. I was gonna say can't fit 3 of us in front.
Yeah, so it's Oliver and Misty in the middle seats, and then Eleanor's in the front passenger seat, which would make sense because, her assistant and all.
I poke Melody and have her look by Misty and have her look behind us.
I poke Oliver and tell him to look.
And I tell them that if they don't behave back there, we're going to turn this around and go back and have more Peking duck.
Damn, I don't think they make Peking duck for breakfast. But
They do if you
could
pay them
always-
enough.
Yeah, have them privately make it for us.
Yeah.
Are the paintings still in the back of this vehicle?
No, I think they're in the storage unit.
Yep, they're in the storage unit.
Stop.
Well, in that case, I turn around in the seat and look behind us.
So there's a tarp that's, or like a blanket that's in the back seat that is moving slightly.
I move, turn back around and move up to Eleanor from behind her and say, do you normally have moving blankets in the back of your vehicle?
I say, hey, Janice, is there supposed to be anything moving in the back of the car?
And that's when, let's see, eeny, meeny, miny, mo. That's when a thing springs out of that covering and jumps at the back of Misty's head. So, let's see if it... Misty, you defend against this with dexterity plus, if you have it, athletics.
Just a second.
Oliver turns to Misty and says, see, you should have looked.
Yes, I do.
Okay. So roll the total of your dexterity plus athletics. And your difficulty is 7.
8, 2, 8, 7. That's 4, right?
That's 3.
So 3, 3.
Yeah. Alright. So you tied with it. Basically, what appears to be a mechanical snake with a large quad set of fangs springs out of the back seat and wraps itself around you. You dodge just to the side as its fangs sink into the seat next to you, and you hear a sizzling hiss as it appears to pump some kind of acid into the back of the seat.
I'm gonna turn around and be like, hey, Oliver, you want to grab that and hook that out the window? And I roll down the automatic window next to him.
Yeah, why not?
Pretty sure that shouldn't be in the car with us.
Pretty sure not to.
Last time I checked, that's not one of the amenities that come with this vehicle. So what do I have to roll to
Well, let's see.
detach it from the seat and toss it out the window?
Yeah, so to detach it from the seat is going to be, or detach it from Misty specifically.
Oh yeah, because it's wrapped around her, then attached to the seat.
Yeah.
Can I just chuck them both out the window?
Hey!
She is belted in, so it'd be kind of hard. She does wear her seatbelt. Alright, so we'll roll this as a grapple, which is strength plus brawl.
Okay. Is she helping at all?
Are you trying to uncoil this thing from around you?
Yes.
Alright, so you roll strength plus brawl to uncoil it from you, and then yeah, we'll see the total from both of you and its total.
I'm
What's
taking
our-
a picture
what's our,
while this is going on to send to Neffy.
What's the difficulty?
Difficulty is 7. Or I'm sorry, 6.
Okay, I got 3.
Okay. So you are not capable by yourself of uncoiling this thing.
I got 4.
Alright. Together, the two of you are able to uncoil it from Misty, but it tries to wrap itself around your arms as you try to fling it out the window. So we'll call this another grapple maneuver, and this one will just be done by Oliver.
Difficulty of
Again, 6. Ooh. Did it really just... lol, okay.
I'm gonna spend a willpower, so
I could also, I have entropy. I could try to predetermine this outcome.
Alright, so if you do that, then it will add dice to, or subtract dice from one or the other's attempts here.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to subtract from the snake thing.
Okay.
So entropy plus
Erica?
arte.
Yep.
Okay. What's the difficulty?
Difficulty would be, I think, yeah, 7.
Okay. 3.
and I got 3 successes to try and toss it out the window.
Okay. So, you feel your spell pushing against something strange that seems to try and distort the intention of your spell, but you're able to push through it.
Mm-hmm.
And then it doesn't really matter that you did that because it botched its roll originally.
Okay. Well, insurance.
Yeah. So, with those 3 successes, you're able to throw the thing directly underneath the wheels of the vehicle, which just
Crunch.
crushes this thing instantly into mechanical parts. Do you guys want to stop and deal with it, or are you gonna just keep going?
I mean, do we want to grab it?
Is there anything useful about it?
Well, it could give you some information, but otherwise, I don't know. It really depends on what you've got. Do you have any prime?
I do, actually.
Then it could be useful for enchanting, because clearly this thing... Well, I guess if Eleanor explains what she felt, you would recognize that there's some premium in it.
Plus, Misty might be able to use some of the parts to
Yeah.
make more things that blow up. You never know.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll have Janet stop then.
Okay. So she stops and just reverses actually on the interstate. There's not enough cars around you that you're particularly worried about this.
Not that she wouldn't just do that anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's just
really.
actually safe this time.
Yes.
In
So
fact, she was completely unfazed by everything that just happened. It's not even the strangest thing she's continued driving through.
yeah, snakes coming out of the back seat, that's perfectly normal. The fact that it was metal is a little weird, but so I suppose you all carefully collect the parts that are not dripping acid.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna give you guys that one without having to ask.
Nah, we just backed up to stare at it in the road.
No, I mean grabbing the parts that are dripping acid.
Yeah, we're not. Yeah.
You're not. You can't say that.
Look, just because your character poisoned itself.
That's a callback to Bird in the Basement if you guys haven't seen it yet. It was funny.
where his character almost died by directly touching poison.
Yeah.
Did
All
you
right.
know? Did you know it was poison before you touched it?
Oh yeah.
Yes, he did.
He didn't know that it was a contact poison. He thought it was ingested, but
Uh,
he wasn't really thinking at the time. He was trying to save someone's life.
okay.
By touching poison. Yes, you can save someone's life by touching poison.
Well, digging it out of their mouth.
Well, he's trying to do extreme first aid.
Yeah. But yeah, so you guys collect up the pieces of broken material and premium that are left behind from this. And what else do you want to do about that? Are you gonna contact? You said that you were gonna send a picture of it to Neffy.
Yeah. Also, we should check the back of the SUV.
Okay.
See if there's
And
anything else there.
I caption the picture. Is this the kind of crap that Aaron does?
So his response is no, that wouldn't be Aaron. That would be some kind of technocratic thing.
Oh, them. I'm just going to send back a frowny, angry face and losers.
Yeah. So you check the back seat, or the back and the back seat of the SUV this time,
Uh-huh.
and find that there is nothing there except the set of keys that were missing.
Yeah. Well, it saves us some money on having to replace them.
That's for sure.
She must have dropped them when she was loading the last load of alcohol in the back. Or unloading the last load of alcohol.
Or someone took them and put the snake in here.
That's true. The snake had to get in here somehow.
I'm going to point out that they're very dumb because they locked the keys in the SUV.
They probably fell, knowing their luck. They probably fell or something.
Mm. Technocrats have never been known to be smart.
All right. So do you all return back to your homes, I guess?
I mean, it is still early and we've still got money burning in our pocket. I mean, we could stop at a Denny's or an IHOP.
Why Denny's? Why not somewhere expensive?
You know, after all that combat, I am kind of hungry. I did just have to fight this thing.
That's true, although it basically didn't fight back by the time that you by the time that you were throwing it out of there. It sort of it just sort of wiggled its way out of your hands out the window.
Okay, I'm gonna Google search on my phone richest neighborhood in near me, and then we're gonna find a restaurant in there that does breakfast.
Are
We're
we
gonna have
what?
some caviar hollandaise.
Are we what? About halfway between Hartford and Salem now, or
There's a lot of rich neighborhoods.
Yeah. So you find some ridiculously uptown place.
$12 toast?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, it's $16 avocado toast.
Ooh,
Yeah.
avocado toast. That sounds
Well, avocados on the East Coast cost a lot. You got to truck them all the way.
Yep.
good. Avocado toast with bacon on top and a tomato.
Yeah, so you get some silly meal because it's not your money, so why would you care?
Yeah, I'm just after combat. I'm just piling on calories.
And yeah. So, do you have any plans other than getting some food before you head
So,
back?
what should our next move be, guys?
Well, I've got to go to the appraisal to get the paintings appraised today. And then we just got to hang out and wait for the council meeting, I guess.
The next day. Oh, we could go to the beach or something, you know?
Yeah, I mean, we've worked hard. We've
Is the
networked.
is the appraisal today?
Yes.
Yeah.
Um,
We probably won't have time to do it this session, but it was going to be today.
Yeah.
okay.
So, speaking of that, I'll just get you guys' plans before. So, you're just gonna head to the appraisal?
I mean, it
Yeah.
should be about that time, right? I would have scheduled it like 10, 11 a.m.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we've got to get to the storage units and see what magical stuff is on it. Is this the magic one or is this the general one?
This would be the magical one.
Okay, so this one's actually important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Though if any of these paintings end up being worth anything, you can bet they're going into auction.
Yeah.
I say it would depend on what the magic is on them. If there's something magical that we could use.
That's true.
fair.
We do also still have the small issue of the fact there is a ghost technically haunting one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. It would actually be nice to be able to set that free. Because nobody's really going to buy the painting with a somewhat annoying ghost in it. So,
Yeah. And then we'll go get ice cream. That's our plan.
ice cream.
Okay. Well, with that, I think we need to end it here for the evening. So, thank you all for watching. I hope that everybody had fun playing tonight.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah,
finally
that
got to have
was
some
fun.
combat. It was one turn.
One turn combat.
I like that kind of combat.
Yes, it's nice and fast and simple.
Nobody got hurt. That's the best kind of combat.
Mike, are you feeling okay?
When he's not DMing, he don't want to be hurt.
Well, I was saying that from a player point of view.
Yeah.
Remember, he's a player now, not the DM right now.
Next session, when I'm running this, it'll be completely different.
Yeah, I was about to say, you rather enjoy hurting people.
unless it's his character, but yeah.
Yeah, I enjoy hurting people. I don't enjoy getting hurt myself.
Yeah.
So
Yes. He does not like to be hurt.
from a player point of view, I'm good with that.
All right. So, if you haven't already, please like and subscribe. Check out our Facebook, our Twitter. Check us out on Spotify, or Anchor, whichever you would prefer for our podcast version. Go to our Discord, and this coming week we will be streaming again on Twitch and here on YouTube. So
Hopefully that'll all happen. Don't make promises that we can't keep, just in case.
Okay.
Hopefully on Sunday.
Yes. This
You
next,
never know. Thunderstorms keep happening, and
yeah.
it's
If
always a fun time.
if we have some bad times with weather, then maybe no streaming, but the goal is to stream.
Excuse me.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Nobody magically deflected that the last time.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess that would have been my character that would have done that. I do. Verbena does weather type stuff, so it would have been me.
yeah, you'd have had to work with the weather spirits too because you don't have any forces yourself. Sons of Ether could have made a weather control gadget though. All right.
No.
So yeah, hope everyone enjoyed and have a great
It
night.
was fun.
Good night.
Bye.
Good night.